First of all, there's a QR code. You need to scan it. It is only for teaching and learning, so seminar activity are kinds of. When you click in, there are some questions to ask you. If you, of course, it is voluntary based and not for any research purpose. If you really want to join in and make a more like engage with today's seminar, you click it and select your answer and then give the response to these questionnaires. Then you have recap some of your memory about happiness. Like there's a question asking about your meaning in life, and also some question related to your satisfactions with life. And some question also capture about your feelings of your environment. Is quality of environment. That means your like social, politics, economics, something like that. So you will have a better understanding of your current situation. Then the seminar, in this seminar, you will come across all I mentioned in this slide and also the content. I will give you 3 minutes because for a normal higher school educated people, you can use 3 minutes to complete this questionnaire. But during these 3 minutes, I want to ask. I don't want to ask any question, but I prepare. Sorry, just for the audience here, you can enjoy the Finland. Come from the Finland chocolate. You know, Finland is the most happiest country in the world. So the chocolate should be the most happiest. Can give you, right? So you can share it. Yeah, from Finland, really from Finland. Don't worry about that. Yeah. So just matter help to open it. And you can take 1 or 2 anyway. For the audience, you are online. I will send the image of the chocolate to you so you can share the happiness. Only the image of your chocolate, okay? Okay, I think you finished it, right? I mean, not finish the chocolate. I mean, finish the seminar questionnaire, right? Okay. So you can select it to respond some or not the other. It's up to you. Okay. Outlines. Today we'll come across the origins of happiness from the literature, and also discuss about contributing factors to the happiness and well-being. Sometimes happiness and well-being are interchangeably in the literature, and they are not really clearly defined. And then part C, we will discuss about the general happiness index coupled with the child happiness index for the past 5 to 7 years. And then we will make a so-called summary comparison with the what literature told us and what is our index told us, and give you some tips. And acknowledgement, I think the data is not only come from me, so I need to declare that the data is come from the World Food, Social and Enterprise, and also from the CTU, Professor Dennis Wong. His expertise in adolescents happiness index, and also Professor Ho Lok Sung is from Ling Yu. He is focusing on the child happiness index for the past, I think 20 years nearly. So this is Dennis Wong, and this is Professor Ho. Yeah. Okay, the history of happiness. If you search the history, in the 1776, I mean, it's very starting about the Declaration of Independence, declare that all men, including women, of course, have a right to the pursuit of happiness. That's the starting of happiness discussion. Before that, we are talking about food and living, something like that. Don't discuss about happiness. So happiness is quite new term in the human's life history. Okay, so it's only starting in 1770, and then in 1926, there's the first song talking about happy birthday. I think you should know that, right? Happy birthday to you, something like that. And in Chinese, 恭祝你福壽與天齊等等. Okay, so we have a happy birthday. So you have one day to be a happier person. This is the birthday only, right? The other is not unhappy, right? Not necessary, but just want to wish you on this day, you should become a happy person. Okay. In 1977, is McDonald's introduced a happy meal. 開心樂園餐 it should be right in Chinese. 開心樂園餐. So it's still use the name here. So some experts argue that happiness is an inborn trait. Okay, inborn, genetic. Okay, so urging a person to become happier is like insisting she become taller. Okay, this is very big claim. Okay, in supplementary or in some example, that means 唔知你有冇試過問同你女朋友講，你可唔可以同我拍拖拍得開心啲啊？或者你可唔可以開心啲？有時唔係咁拍拖，你可唔可以開心啲啊？ So your statement is infringing some law, okay, against the law or against the genetic human being. 開唔開心係 inborn, okay. 你唔可以叫佢開心啲，正如佢可唔可以叫你可唔可以長得高啲咁樣 ？Okay, impossible, right? So is it a real? I don't know, but in the Cummings literature, we know that some portion of contributing to happiness is inborn, but the other is not, right? So back to our very basic understanding on happiness, it should have two major philosophical thoughts, philosophy to combine to become how you define yourself to be happy or not happy. That is Epicurus. Epicurus is very old school of thoughts. They talk about hedonic well-being. Hedonic well-being, okay, you may not know what is the hedonic, but the wording is about satisfaction with life, quality of life, or quality of living environment. So it is quite affected by the environment. Okay, someone will take this as a so-called subjective well-being. 只要我自己開心，去玩去癲，去海洋公園嘛，係咪？去玩去癲去澳門拍係咪？如果係咁嘅話，即係話去海洋公園玩得癲咧，即係 satisfaction with life。去旅行喪玩幾日 ，OK， is a satisfaction with life. Is this so? When you go to trip, you will become happier. That's real because Epicurus tell you, okay. So Epicurus told you this philosophy. You belongs to this philosophy sometimes. But the other ones, quite more famous, is Aristotle. He say, oh no, not talking about satisfaction with life. We're talking about eudaimonic, okay, eudaimonic, okay. Psychological well-being is meaning in life and purpose. So if you think that you have a meaning in life, okay, 生活好有意義啦 ，purpose in life 有目的嘅生活 ，okay, that is another contributing to well-being. 所以你唔可以日日癲嘅係咪？日日玩日日癲唔得嘅，最後你都要有啲意義嘅人生 ，OK。有意義嘅人生都會令到你最後覺得你個 well-being 好，你可以 tolerate 你嘅 satisfaction in life， 唔係咁理想都得。唔係我講，其實呢個係 Professor Bartel 講嘅，之前佢講過㗎啦已經係嘛？佢講我引用翻佢，因為呢個係 fundamental understanding about what is happiness. So in the happiness level and happiness well report, we know there's a so-called measurement on globally about happiness in the world. The Finland is the top one and always become the top one for the past 5 to 10 years. 芬蘭不嬲都係最開心。Have you tried the Finnish chocolate? Is it the happier than before? If you eat another chocolate, 食朱古力會開心啲嘅本身嚇，會肥啲添。佢嘅 consequence 係令你唔開心，但係個過程令你開心係乜嘢啊？係 satisfaction with life, right? 係你嘅 satisfaction with life. Okay. What is Hong Kong's ranking? 86 last year, 2026, 2024, 2024. Finland is the top one. There's a lot of measurement about why Hong Kong is not very happy. It's not very happy. But if you check the item what they measure, like healthy life expectancy, Hong Kong have a higher mark than the other. 你睇我哋對比啲咩剛果啊、伊朗啊、尼泊爾啲地方同我哋差唔多，大佬。我哋有咁離譜咩而家？係嘛？有啲南非好過我哋嚇，印度都好過，印尼西亞80嗰個，印尼西亞 Colombia 都好過我哋，唔係打緊仗咯，我哋而家嚇。仲要 anyway 都唔係好理想，都係 the score I mean is quite low. Anyway. So based on the Professor Bartel's study, and they present previously, the literature tell us happiness across the lifespan is quite stable after 80 years old. In summary, that means you will be very happy in your teenagers. After you become adult, you will not more happy, no more happy. You see, after 80, it's quite static. It's quite static. So here, I think all is quite static, quite stable. Your happiness level is quite stable. You cannot become very happy or become not very happy. Okay, it's quite stable. So some elaboration you can see here. I elaborate in Cantonese. For example, 18歲之後咧，女孩子咧就揾人拍拖啦，就一路冇拖拍，一結婚之後佢就開心咗啦，男仔就開始唔開心啦，係咪？跟住開始生小朋友啦，大家就喺個唔開心同開心嘅狀態度周旋啦。去臨尾嘅時候，如果男人唔死嘅咧，就會開心啦，因為佢冇自殺到啦，佢繼續開心啦。女人咧就繼續唔係好開心咁完埋佢一生啦，一休咁樣啦。咁但係你見到條尾咧，其實都係高咗少少嘅，係嘛？比之前。但你睇一睇咧，其實個數字係爭好遠喎。喺細個嗰陣時咧，係去到8點幾分 happiness 嘅喎。但係之後咧，你人生冇再試過8點幾啦，你維持喺呢個。但係佢所講嘅7.6啦，大概係嘛？香港冇7點幾嘅，5嘅就得5點幾嘅啫。It's a study by genetic analysis, so not by like questionnaire. Okay, this study. So it is a very famous study. So we know that at least we have some impression. After 80 years old, the happiness score will be quite static, maintained until you die. And what is your happiness time in the lifespan? Before 80. Sorry to say that this time you have already passed it, right? You're no more joyful, okay? You cannot become more joyful. Okay, is there any benefits of being happy people? Yes, from the literature, from the Professor Bartel is happy person are healthier, 健康啲嘅, okay? Live longer, function better, have better social relationship. So smile is important, right? It's quite important. So today's seminar is meaningful because you want to be a happy person, because you want to be a happy person, live longer, function better, and have a better social relationship. Right? Function better, you will become promoted easier. Okay, you function better, you become more productive, you will become more easy to be promoted, right? So you have a better salary. Can you have a beautiful girl, right? Maybe, I don't know. From the Professor Bartel, he also say that there's some contributing factor to happiness like income and life satisfaction. But from this study, they find that they are not really related. So income is not related to life satisfaction. Okay. How about whether the meaning in life is related to happiness? Yes. From two philosophy, philosophical thought is hedonic and also eudaimonic, hedonic, well-being. Their overlapping is the correlation of the coefficient is R is equal to 0.5. That means they overlap from the genetic analysis. If talking about the gene, which gene, chromosome, they are related to the claim of the happiness. It combine both hedonic and eudaimonic. That means satisfaction with life and meaning in life. That is over 0.8. So it is quite a high correlated together, right? There's a very strong correlation. 好強啊! The data is come from the UK biobank. So using the genetic to take their blood, biomarker and check their happiness, something like that, right? 好 strong 係咪啊？見到 meaning in life 或者係 satisfaction with life 對於喺你嘅 genetic 你嘅抽血入邊你嗰啲嘅一啲嘅 chromosome 佢哋嘅 overlapping 竟然有0.8，即係影響你開唔開心嘅，影響你嘅 satisfaction in life 嘅，其實同 genetic 好有關係。而兩者個分類雖然分類咗出嚟，但係佢哋嘅 overlapping 都好高。咁大家記得 ，OK，meaning in life, satisfaction with life are quite related to the happiness genetically and also by the survey. Depression and happiness. We always know that depression someone that they are depressed should not be very happy, right? So happiness and depression are correlated historically, and also illustrate in a lot, demonstrate in a lot of studies. From genetic points of view, Professor Bartel also tell us that even though we separate to investigate the hedonic and eudaimonic happiness, they are related. So depression is related to happiness. I think there's no doubt. Education, okay? Education is somewhat related to the well-being or happiness, but higher education is not associated with the higher well-being. Okay, that means your education level is too low. When you increase your education level, that is related to happiness. But after talking about if you are really engaged with the higher education or awarded with the higher education qualification, it cannot ensure that you will be happier than before. Okay, so in this diagram, so that also from the Professor Bartel. 好似講嚟講都冇講到我啲研究㗎係嘛？ It's background, okay, we check it. The last one is very important also, is heredity and also the happiness. That means genetic and happiness, whether they're related. So this is also come from the Professor Bartel. That is, height, weight is over 70% related to your genetic. For well-being is about, well-being is 60, 60. Okay, the other one is also from literature, come from another professor, is Professor Salomon, Martin Salomon. Is the father of positive psychology. He defined happiness, enduring level of happiness, this one. Unobservable, it is unobservable, because enduring, lifelong, okay? Is your set range, your threshold, plus your circumstances is something like satisfaction with life, right? 周遭環境, external environment, okay? And V is the factor under your voluntary control. You can control a little bit. But these circumstances of your life, what you perceive it, I mean, how can you perceive it is unknown. And the S is your set range, is quite likely to be genetically controlled. 呢一個數 S， 因為佢 S 係你嘅 set range， your threshold。你個 threshold 你唔係自己決定嘅。The threshold 係你 inborn 就有嘅，即係頭先我哋 in the very previous one I talking about happiness is in inborn trail, that is like that. This goal is like that. However, this equation or formula is quite difficult to be proven. 好難去證實係嘛？因為佢太多嘢，呢個又 unobservable， 呢個又唔知，嗰個又唔知，咁點 prove 啫 ？prove 唔到。So in 2025. Professor Ho and I suggest another equation. It is provable, okay? That is, Professor proposed H is happiness is equal to your set range, but the set range, I don't know, is affected by two variables. One is genetic, so I say it is a constant. With the other V1, what's V1? Your accumulated mental capital voluntary. Mental capital, another term I introduced to you. I will investigate, and the mental capital we propose and investigate for the past 8 years, and find that mental capital heavily contribute to happiness. Stably, okay? 好穩定地喺過往嘅年份，佢都係成為一個最大嘅 predictor 嚟嘅。mental capital， 大家會知係咩？例如愛智毅行love engagement insight LB, something like that, yeah. LIFE. And then the other is related to T. T is talking about another term on C. What is C? Circumstances, environment, okay? It's short-term deviation beyond one's marking. That is, 我哋係咪可以接受到一啲事實，佢距離你嘅 expectation 有啲距離。Let's say 喺 social unrest 嘅時候，我哋發覺政府我哋唔理想 deviated， 你會唔會有一啲嘅 deduction mark 喺度咧？因為 circumstances 可以 change 呢個 it is temporary, okay? And V2 is the circumstances that are result of voluntary action. What is your action? What's your circumstances? You feel it. You express it, okay? So we are not talking about enduring happiness. We're talking about measurable happiness. 你記俾嘅自己嘅分先。So in your first question in the first line, we're talking about you're doing the survey, right? The first question is ask you what is your happiness score? That is happiness index. So the index can be measured by this S and this C. So it is measurable become. Anyway, what is our summary here based on the literature? Happiness is inheritable, okay? Genetic related, okay? It's stable after 18 years old. This one, you know that? Circumstances of your life, that is environmental factor, also named as external factor, are also important because in the formula, we know that mental capital can be trained and interact with gene and environmental factor. And what is the contributing factor for education level? No, it is not. Income, yes, but some only, not linear at least. Meaning in life, yes. Depression, yes. Okay, these all are come from the study presented by the Professor Bartel and also published in the literature. So we know that. Oh, how about our study? Okay, General Happiness Index 2018 to 2023. We track the trend of the personal happiness level in Hong Kong. It's as a kind of online survey. And we measure the personal happiness, including meaning in life and satisfaction with life. And with the life, mental capital, and also measure the values of people. We have social well-being, satisfaction of external factors. So if you check the questionnaire, you know that we ask you about a lot of about your external environment, like your housing, economics, Hong Kong's politics, satisfaction with your media, entertainment, something like that, right? It is environment factor, satisfaction of external factors. And self-rate health, depressive symptom. So we also assess that. Okay. The study and the score from 2018 to 2023, you will find that in 2018, that is 6 point something. But before 2018 is 6.8, quite static, 6.8 from 2011 to 2017, 6.8，唔知點解㗎？唔知點解？2018年in this year suddenly dropped to 6.54, then we cannot return back. Okay, and then 2019, what's happened? South and West, so it dropped. What? Why? External environment, right? So obviously it will drop. COVID-19, it will drop. When you adapt, it will rise. Quite adapt, rise. Cannot adapt, drop. So, okay, you say, oh, it's dropped quite significantly. The people say it's a post-traumatic disorder. People cannot adapt, suddenly turn back. 所有嘢突然之間一瞬間話，你返工照返啦冇得 work from home 啲津貼冇晒啦 ，cut 晒係咪？啲優惠冇晒啦，玩嗰啲冇晒啦，唔使講係咪？返工啦嘛，大家都要 OK return back suddenly. Okay, is it your family member is okay to return back? How about your kid, your family, your grandparents, and your workplace? Is it everything return back instantly? No, we don't know. But the score tells us that they cannot adapt well. It's not only by me, by all the other kinds of study, you know that, like this one, Hong Kong's Happiness Index World Report. It's not by Wolfu, so by the other, you see that after the COVID, they still drop, right? They still drop. How about the other World Happiness Rank? After the COVID is a little bit drop, but after the COVID, it drops significantly. You see, still drop here, right? They're dropping the score. So I was saying that we are in line with the global trend. And we are also in line by the other organization conducting happiness index study or well-being study. Happiness is composed by the satisfaction with life and meaning in life. You see this correlation table? They are over 0.7 to 0.8. It is coincidentally 100% match with the genetic study, right? 0.8. Okay. The other thing is you see they work together, right? From 2 to from 2 to 1. But before that, it is still like the curve. They are in line. When you when the happiness index rise, satisfaction with life and meaning in life rise. When they drop together. So they go together, the score. Okay, how about the age, lifespan? Okay, you can see this table because I need to combine two tables. The first one is general happiness index and the other is child happiness index. They're asking with the same question. You see the child, P4, primary 4 to secondary 5, 7 point something, right? They drop. You see, they drop. And then after 80 years old, static. So from the genetic study, it's talking about these kinds of phenomena. And we can check by two surveys. One is general happiness index and the other is child happiness index. So we know this phenomenon. Quite obvious, right? So just today, morning, there's a press cite my phenomenon. Just today. 東華學院呢個唔好讀啦，讀呢度啦，都可以讀嘅。以前開心指數嘅圖表係微笑狀，即幼年處於高位，童年無憂無慮，都係低位，老年就再次上升嘛，老年時期再上升。但係而家咧就呈現手推車，最多嘅手推車，手推車 this is 手推車 ，OK 就係年幼時處於高位，壯年開始走下坡，直到老年一直處於低位，平穩維持。即係話老年長者嘅開心指數已經唔同以前啦。Just press today, you can check it. AM， 我唔知幾時訪問我呢個，我都唔記得咗。佢突然間今日彈咗出嚟。So， 先隻貓先喺度。得，冇事。呢個好重要啊，所以 so like this, right？ 手推車 ，this is OK。this is 手推車 ，OK。So against， 其實咧老年嘅時候咧係要高翻少少先合理嘅，不嬲都我都覺得，因為退休啦嘛，係嘛？係咪？你要 retire，so suppose retire age that should be a good time to enjoy your life. But anyway, maybe this is the phenomenon in Hong Kong. Oh, continue here. Okay, next. So we know that. Okay, how about the age groups? We are talking about the age group with the years. So you find that the trend is similar. When you drop, you will drop. When they rise, you will rise with the age, similar to that. So we didn't have study quite deeply about the influence of age because it is already published by some paper and the literature have clearly illustrate what's the pattern. So we just give you some example in our study. Okay, how about the mental capital and external factor? As I mentioned, the formula H is equal to S plus C plus V, right? Something like that. So mental capital will affect your internal response to the environmental factor. So there's an external factor, 社會經濟政治民生 okay, and then we have the mental capital 愛智毅行 okay, so you will see that the trend they are quite in line, just quite in line, doesn't like the previous one I said by the Aristotle and Epicurus, right? 同 Epicurus 佢哋講嗰個 satisfaction with life 同埋 meaning in life 係有啲唔同嘅，嗰個係直頭好 in line 得好緊要，差唔多。個 R 係 0.8 嘅，但係呢個冇咁強嘅。但係 they are always the predictor, like the mental capital, this one, the green line. A mental capital, they will nearly predict the general happiness index. Okay. 所以我哋喺個 formula 度就會講咧話咧，其實咧個mental capital 咧愛智毅行咧係對於你周遭環境咧你個人嘅 response。It is trainable, and in how you interact with your environment. I'm talking about mental capital, the importance of mental capital. Some primary school now is adopt a life education, mental capital education to equip them with the love, insight, engagement, fortitude, something like that. That means they can have a better resilience to the environmental factor, even though the environment is poor or not favorable, how they can react to the environment and keep themselves happy. Okay. So you see the external factor can drop significantly, but the mental capital, if they rise, it can still maintain something. Because how you react. Happiness is very important talking about how you react to the reality. 環境係死嘅，開心係主觀㗎嘛，係嘛？你可以都仍然係一個好唔開心嘅環境之下開心㗎嘛，其實。Okay. So it is the formula we publish in the press in 20啱啱借咗20唔知幾多223 right 223 So you find that in the personal happiness index is affected and the predictor of them is mental capital, satisfaction with external factors, and mental health. So this is the first one. Okay. 冇事，冷靜。Okay. In 2021, another formula we publish in the press is, okay, mental capital interact with the values as the external factor is equal to happiness index. If the happiness index is too low, it will become a depressive symptom. We will appear some depressive problem. Okay. 2019, that is internal factor is mental capital, and also external factor, external satisfaction with external environment, with some depressive symptom, education, and your marital status will affect the happiness. But it is interesting for this factor is whether you are married or not, is not no longer a predictor after 2019。19之後咧冇再係一個 predictor， 之前係曾經試過一兩下有 predictor 嚟嘅，之後就冇啦嚇。呢個係一個 multi-level hierarchical linear regression model. Okay, we always talking about general the external environment. Then what we have measured for the external environment, you can see that like politics and society, government policy, economics, housing condition, living environment, public medical services, entertainment, leisure, media, law, orders, okay, and also trust in the government, education, harmony, and also natural environment. So there's a lot of items we measure. Okay, what you give it, what kinds of thing you receive it. Is Hong Kong people is quite mean. They did not give a very high score for most of the part, like government policy. So you see, the score is very low. We understand in 2019 and 2020, 2019. So it is very reflective to what government done, right? 有啲我哋明嘅，但係而家唔係咁差啫嘛，而家都係而家都4點幾咗都係。Do you know what is the Singapore score? 7 and 8 on average. 新加坡人係好中意佢哋嘅國家，好中意佢哋咁專制嘅政府嘅，佢哋俾得好高分，呢份佢哋好專制，唔准食香口膠 ，OK 支持，壓翻你繼續，係嘛 ？Okay, and also trust. I mean, trust in government. You see, the score is in red. That is quite low. It's the lowest, top lowest one. The lowest, okay, not the top lowest. It's lowest. The highest score is the lowest score. I mean, the lowest score. Okay, and unfortunately, you may not agree with that. Is E5 living environment is the highest score because you have no choice. 你係冇得揀情況之下，你覺得居住環境都算係唔係好差噶啦，起碼層樓唔會冧先啦。綠色嘅最高分嘅已經係嘛？其實香港人唔係咁窮，一經濟都俾得好 mean 嘅，你睇下，啲分都唔高。但你知啦 ，you know that right? Survey is always self-report. Right? You cannot control what is their answer. Okay, and then we are also checking about, is it a higher education will give you a higher education level? In our study, yes, you see, for the postgraduate, it is more happier than undergraduate and secondary or below. But after the secondary or below or undergraduate, they are nearly sometimes on and off the score, not promising. But postgraduate, they will have a higher score. Maybe they have a better salary or better environment or better working environment or something like that. 好啲啲嚇，所以呢度都好多係 postgraduate 嚟㗎嘛，係嘛？呢度冇人係 undergraduate 嚟㗎，所以你已經脫離咗 undergraduate 貧窮線啦已經 ，OK， 你脫離咗呢度啦，恭喜你嚇！有芬蘭朱古力食嘅都係啲 postgraduate 嚟㗎嘛，係嘛 ？undergrad 冇得食㗎呢度，OK。Income 嗱 ，talking about income is interesting. It depends. 嗱，雖然咧我哋劃分到咧5萬蚊啊 ，50,000 is not a big money in Hong Kong, right？ 因為好多人都可能有5萬蚊嘅收入啦，都接近啦，或者你睇下佢用5萬蚊叫有錢，其實都幾搞笑呢個，可以再分高少少。不過咧，我哋個 survey 咧做出嚟咧，唔係咁多人剔咁高分嘅，即係咁多錢嘅。咁但係你留意到咧，they are not a promising results. That means higher income will generate a better happiness score. Up and down, up and down, you see, right? 即係唔係好 promising 嘅答案啦嚇。呢個 survey 嘅答案嚟嘅。不過喺Professor Bertel also tell us income is not related to the happiness. Okay, how about the meaning in life? Okay, meaning in life, yes, it is changed with the age. So you will become more understand about your meaning in life when you go older and older. Okay, age is related to the score of the meaning in life. And their relationship is 0.7 or more. So when you have a lower score, I mean, in the happiness index, you have a lower score in meaning in life. So it is a direct trend, direct proportional. So the more meanings one life is, the happier they are. How about the depression? I work in another project with the colleague about whether the depression, whether the happiness score can differentiate depressive symptom. Yes, you see that the correlation is about 0.5, but happiness index lower than 7. Oh, and have you checked your happiness index is lower than 7? If you are, then you have a high chance sensitivity up to 68 and specificity is 81 for depressive symptom. 你有抑鬱㗎啦，應該你低過7分，你有啲抑鬱㗎啦，應該。頭先有冇同事剔低過7分啊？有，唔使舉手，得睇到，唔使舉手，你就會係有機會有 depressive symptom because based on the philosophy that so based on the hypothesis that happiness index is highly correlated with the depressive symptom. Okay, so from literature we know that happiness is heritable. In our study, we are unable to check it. But happiness is stable after 18 years old. Yes, no, we don't obtain any great variation between 80 to 55, except a little bit higher in 65 or above. Circumstances of your life, that means external environmental factors, also named as external factor, are important. We have know that external factor predict the general happiness index consistently. Mental capital can be trained and interact with gene and environmental factor. Yes, mental capital predict general happiness index consistently, right? The related factor from the literature, we know education is not a promising factor, but for us, post-graduation will have a higher happiness score than the other, but the other we cannot differentiate. For the income, yes, but for us, for our study, it is fluctuated, non-linear relationship, right? The meaning in life, yes. Depression, yes. We also, you will find that by our general happiness index, most of the phenomenon or contributing factor we check it is quite similar to the literature, to the genetic analysis, right? Okay, being a happy and joyful person. Tips from Professor Bartel and also Professor Salomon and Professor Ho, that is positive activity interaction, PAI. How you can do that? You know the formula, right? You learn a better mental capital, first of all. Love, 愛智毅行啦，簡單嚟講。And then you write some letter of gratitude to yourself, counting one's blessing, okay, practicing optimism, performing acts of kindness. Being a kind person is very important. Using one's strength in a new way, affirming one's most important values. So for me, I will say, control the controllable factor. Okay, don't bother those uncontrollable things. Your time, emotion, focus. Less compare with others, but more with yourself. These two I added. Okay, this is from Bartel. Okay. My belief is a lovely girl, right? Happiness is not by chance, it's by choice. Okay. You can choose by yourself. This is the reference. The press. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.